Coming up on Mountain News this morning, an act signed into law last year is affecting how some Kentucky colleges teach their archery programs. And you were never too old to cosplay or enjoy yourself at this local Comic-Con.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6 a.m. on August 11th. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your Friday morning forecast. And Brandon, it's some kids' first week of school, first Friday of the school year. That's always an exciting time for a lot of people.
Exactly.
And despite the fog this morning, I think it'll be a pretty nice day out there.
Exactly. It should be. We got some more schools going back next week and then some more after that. I think Perry County is the latest one this year, all the way up on the 28th, I believe. 28th, yeah. So we got quite a few out there still to get back. But again, this morning, if you're traveling back and forth, watch out for the school buses. Dense fog in some locations out there. You can see it on the visibility map, and it's close to zero. And basically everywhere from Logan to Wise to Jonesville, Harlan, Jacksboro, Williamsburg, Somerset, and also Moorhead. So just give it some extra time. Close to zero visibility outside of our studios here in Hazard this morning, 63 in town, and basically back down to 59 in Wise, but generally in the 60s. In most locations this morning, 69 in Monticello, the closest to 70. For today's breakdown, I put a small chance for a passing shower or storm in there. I never rule it out when it's this warm and muggy, but again, I think the majority of us stay dry. A few clouds this morning behind the fog, and then we'll clear out pretty quickly by this afternoon. 85, a daytime high. Olivia?
Thank you, Brandon. The bipartisan Safer Communities Act of 2022 expands funding to mental health services for students, but it may strip schools of their archery and hunting programs. The act causes a federal defunding of schools offering hunting or archery programs by prohibiting the use of its funding to provide dangerous weapons or training. Kentucky is the birthplace of the National Archery in Schools program, and more than 100,000 Kentucky students are participating in archery or hunting classes. The Kentucky State Senate is calling for the Biden administration to correct what they deem to be a misinterpretation.
When they talk about firearms, they always emphasize safety. Well, these types of programs in school actually give folks the safety skills they need to make sure that they can handle a firearm or a bow correctly.
The Kentucky State Senate is calling for the Biden administration to correct its misinterpretation and reinstate the funding for all hunting and archery programs. The debate on gender-affirming care in Kentucky is in the spotlight in the race for governor. Republican gubernatorial candidate Daniel Cameron held a campaign news conference yesterday morning challenging Governor Beshear's stance on the surgery. Beshear has said that surgery has not been performed on minors in Kentucky. Cameron claims Beshear is not being honest. Earlier this week, we told you Cameron's campaign shared a letter from UK Healthcare addressed to Republican Representative James Tipton. The letter says UK's Transform Clinic, quote, has in recent years performed a small number of non-genital gender reassessment surgeries on minors, adding that the clinic does not perform genital reassignment surgeries on minors, end quote.
19 states have passed laws this year to protect our children. Kentucky is one of them. But Andy Beshear would much rather have us be on the side of California. He's out of step with Kentucky, and he's certainly out of step with our values.
But at the end of the day, I mean, how has this race gone here? I mean, Daniel Cameron's taken this race to the gutter in a way that I have never seen. I mean, right now, I think if you ask him about climate change, he'll say it's caused by children and gender reassignment surgeries.
Election Day is November 8th. Most schools across Kentucky are back in session this week, but it has been a rough start to the school year for many parents in Jefferson County who were left waiting for hours for their children to get dropped off. Some parents say they waited as long as 2 hours for their child to be let out of school. Bus delays are getting the blame.
There's going to be delays. It's going to take some time. But what I can assure families of, that will continue to lessen and reduce as we go along in the next week to 2 weeks.
That district has also moved some bus stops further from the homes where students live. Union President Dr. Marcia Hawkins recently announced she will be retiring after the upcoming school year. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox talked to Hawkins about her tenure as president and how she plans to finish her career.
Dr. Hawkins has served as the president at Union College for more than a decade. Her decision to take the position is one she is proud of.
Be it an institution that really cares about access and helping students, no matter what their economic, status might be, if they are capable of a college degree, we want them here. We want to give them that opportunity.
Creating opportunities for students and the community, Hawkins says one of her greatest accomplishments was acquiring what is now the Union College Center for Health and Learning. The building includes one of 3 college-based indoor Olympic-sized pools in the state.
People from all over the state brag on our facility in Barberville, Knox County, so we should be really proud of that.
Also inside the building is a Boys and Girls Club, which they say at the time of its creation was one of few such college-based clubs.
I just think that opportunity for families in this area has changed the future for some kids, being able to continue their studies in the summer and be healthy and active.
Hawkins credited students and staff with their hard work during the COVID-19 pandemic as well.
We were able to upgrade all of our technology and really and help students who didn't even have bandwidth at home,
Now the president looks to get the position ready for whoever is next.
He can come in and just hit the ground running, and we're on the cusp of some great things here, and it's going to be up to the next person.
Before that next person comes in, however, Hawkins has one more year to build on her legacy. In Barberville, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
The Union College school year is set to begin on September 6th. Coming up this Saturday, Comic-Palooza Minicon is taking place at the Perry County Public Library. People of all ages are invited to join for a cosplay contest, trivia, roundtable discussions, as well as local vendors. Jessica Chandler and Amy Eversole with the library say the event has been canceled the past few years, and they are thrilled to finally bring it back.
It's just so much fun, and I love seeing the community come together and everybody gets a chance to actually go to like a mini Comic Con, because some of the larger Comic Cons are just, they're so many hours away. Some of the stuff is just so expensive per price ticket. Our little mini Comic Con is free to the public.
The event is from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the library, and the cosplay contest begins at noon. Plus, for people 18 years and older, there's a murder mystery event happening at 4:30 that evening.
Coming up on 6:08, the forecast this morning a bit foggy across parts of the region. Let's go to UVA Wise on our camera network, and you'll see the fog building in over that way this morning. Maybe just a few clouds behind that there. 59, that's the coolest spot in the region right now. And you see 60s pretty much everywhere else, with the exception there of Clintwood, which is basically on the cusp of the 50s there at 60. So we'll see if they drop before 7 o'clock or not. Mid to upper 60s across the majority of the region. Breakfast forecast for you today as you pour out your frosted weather wheats into the bowls. About 65 or so, kind of splitting the difference there. And I think we'll see some clouds early, giving way to some sunshine mixed with clouds a little bit later on today. Olivia?
Thank you, Brandon, and thanks for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, Hawaii continues to search for an unknown amount of missing people as the death toll increases.